Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man, Bad Chad, and Queen Jolene's on the camera, and we are on air. Today I'm going to tackle the firewall. The reason I'm going to tackle the firewall is because the engine's pretty near ready. We just got our, what bearing is that called? The pilot bearing. We just got the pilot bearing to mount the transmission. We're going to do that later on today. We're going to mount the transmission on there and get all the clutch and all the throw bearing, all that stuff put in place. But in order for me to put that in and be happy with it, I want to deal with the firewall. So that's what we're going to do. I have a whole, sometimes, I've seen people clean up their firewall and that's what people like to do. That's what I'm going to do. But I've seen people how they've welded up this hole, then they weld up this hole, and then they weld up this hole, and carry on, so on, so on. They weld up this hole and weld up this hole, and then take the time to grind it all off and then try to make it into something. Well, I generally don't like to do that. I generally like to try to make it out of one piece or two piece or whatever to clean it off the best I can. I have the hood latch here on this side, and I have a hood latch there on that side. And if Jolene wants to show you, there's a piece right here that I'm going to have to allow for. It goes down past this piece and this piece. I'm actually getting ahead of myself. I want to mount my piece of metal from here down to the face of this piece here, and that way there it closes it all off nice and smooth. Not putting the heater box back in it. I'm not putting any of that stuff back on the firewall. I'm cleaning it off. This is going to be a summer driver. It's going to be a good day driver, that sort of thing. We're not going to need any of that. We're deleting it all. I find that more you delete, the more the money goes down. It's almost like buying a brand new car. When you start deleting things off it, the money goes down. Exactly what I'm doing here. Every time I delete something, the money goes down. So when I put the piece of metal in here, I'm thinking about going to here to there. We have a hood latch here and a hood latch over there. This one is down in there a little bit on this line. I'm going to have to allow for that after I put the piece of metal on there, what I'm thinking. And I've got one over there that's got the same thing. I've got the brakes over on, I've got the brakes over on this side too. So this side here is not bad. That's not bad. But when I get over here, I've got the steering coming through. I've got the master cylinder coming through the firewall. And now that we're going standard, we are going to have a clutch cylinder that's going to be there for some clutch fluid because it's going to be hydraulic. So I'm thinking that we would mount that right beside our brakes to make it easy access. So the only thing that's going to be showing on the firewall that I know of is the brake cylinder and the clutch cylinder. And there will be some wires actually running out that firewall also, no doubt in my mind, somewhere. The car has to be wired, all new wires, because the wiring harness it looks like a knot's nest. A knot's nest, you ever tell that? A knot's nest? A bird's nest made of hay, and it's going everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in there. What I'm thinking is, with the problem that I'm having with the firewall, thanks for coming back, everybody. We appreciate it. Yes, we do. We're getting close to the end of the fabrication on this one. Stick with us. We got something new coming, that's for sure, like we always do. I guess that does not matter. What I have here is I have this piece here I have to deal with. It's down past that line. This just looks easy for me, from here to there. That just looks easy. But when you get this stuff down in there and you get that down in there, that makes it non-easy. So what I'm going to do is, and this here's the brakes, and we have a clutch, and we have the steering. So what I'm going to do is do one side, and then I'll do the other side. When I do the firewall, this is where I learned that different thicknesses of metal sometimes are required or better. So when I'm going to do this firewall, I am not going to use a piece of 18 gauge. It's kind of, what can I say? It's quite a big space in between there. We got a space in between there, probably an inch and a quarter there, and probably 3/4 of an inch at the top. There's going to be a space in there. I don't want no doing, I don't think. I want it flat looking. I've got a piece of 14 gauge over there, and I may as well use it. It's a little bit heavier, but in actual fact, it'll be nicer when it comes time to be on there, a little bit stronger, a little bit more, a little bit flatter. So I'm going to use that. On the other side, these holes are still going to be there. there's going to be a gap in between. So I've come up with a little bit of an idea. I will probably use some kind of tape on this side to close that hole off, close them off, and then I would insulate from the inside so nothing can get in there and get in between these metals, which I don't think will or would. But that's probably what I'm going to do there, is I just close it off with tape and then insulate. You would never see it from the inside or the outside. So I'm going to take this piece off. Well, I thought I was going to. I'm not going to yet, I guess. I'm going to have to get a wrench to fit it. Hoping. That one fits. Have not had the hood latched on this car yet. Got the latches in place. Doug put these in place. Found the bolts for them. And have not had it latched yet, so everything is just kind of getting mocked up before we get started. Have to know where everything goes. Jolene looks amazing today, as always. Might have wanted to grab a socket for that, maybe. Ugh. Gonna have to. Hopefully I can find one quickly. Need my glasses, a little bit blind. Tried to use a 12 mil, it does not work. When it's a 7/16, it does not work. I like to use a little thicker metal on the firewall. Like I already said, it just gives it a little bit more. Just gives it a little bit more, that's all. So I'm going to have to finish the firewall off before I decide to repaint and put the motor in. So I'll end up repainting this because of the mounts are not painted. I want to freshen it up. The steering box is not looking that great. There's some bolts on the hinges that were not painted, so I will sand it. I will have to sand it before I paint it. I can't just paint it, or I can, but I would never want to let myself think that I've done it right if I don't sand it. If I don't sand it, I'm asking for it not to stick. That's what I'm asking for, and I want it to stick. You can see the little cutout here I have. I'm going to have to, when I put the new firewall in, I'm going to have to make a cutout there to make that fit. So that little piece goes down inside there, but we can do that after. Grab myself a piece of Bristol board and a marker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this firewall in two pieces. Try to make it a little easier on myself because I have not got a master cylinder yet. I have not got a clutch cylinder yet. So I'm going to leave that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do halfway. So I'm just going to make this fit. Like I've said many a times, sometimes all it takes is a dirty finger to get your pattern rolling. I'm gonna want to take that right over to the firewall there. There's a big gap in there right now because I got this piece here and that piece there. We're gonna try to take that over best we can. I get in here without a pair of scissors, and that was a mistake. Cut that off so we can get in there. Gonna have to get a pair of scissors. That's all right, sweetheart, I get them. I'm a big boy now. I'm a big boy now. I'm hoping that the scissors are over here. I don't know where I threw all my scissors at, but they're here somewhere. They're not hanging up, are they? I had a pair of small ones yesterday for trimming nose hairs, but they're not the ones I want. Here, a pair right here. Alrighty. Just cutting that piece out to allow it to go in a little bit further, that's all. We're looking good. Gonna go down a little bit more. If I mess up on the paper, then I just fix it when I go to the metal. Just trying to lay it on this edge right here, right on this edge here, and trying to get the slide in best I can. All right, she's on that edge. I've got a gap at the top, tight at the bottom. So I'm going to angle it. I'm going to try to scribe it there, I guess. It's a hard fit over there in that corner. I might get a piece of tape and start. Alright, this is what I'm going to do. Got to keep it square on the flat on that bottom because that's my reed. I'm going to get a couple magnets. Just for the people that are watching, obviously only for the people that are watching, and I do a fair bit of talking before I get started. So for the people that are watching, that are into this sort of stuff, the younger people, I guess, the people that are into this sort of stuff, this is what I was telling Jolene when I was coming home, when we were coming home from town today. When I'm not working right now, you obviously see that I'm talking, but as you know, when I was a young person, I was told, basically told, when I'm working, you know, how fast to go. What I'm trying to say is, like, if I was picking strawberries, if I was picking potatoes, or if I was doing anything, cutting cabbage, picking apples, I was told to work fast. Now this is for the people that are watching. You watch me, if you watch me do things here, generally it's an hour. So if you want to or not, put the clock on an hour. Put the clock on an hour and see what you can get done. Take and say, I got a hole in the bottom of the front fender. See if you can make the patch, weld it in, have it ground off within the hour. That's basically what you should do. See how fast you can get. It's like Jolene said, how do you know how good you are until you know, or basically, how good are you is by the time it takes you to get it done. So if I can put a patch in a car in an hour, and it takes you 2 or 3, or if it takes you 45 minutes, that tells you sort of how good you are. And if you're into this kind of work, generally, you want to become the best you can. And part of it is how fast you can get it done. And I'm not talking about scabbing it up or doing poopy work. I'm talking about welding it in and getting it done the best you can. So for those people that watch, what I'm doing here is I've got a gap there, and I don't want to scribe it there anymore. I just want to make it fit tight. So if I bring that out, it's hard to get in there, so I am doing what I have to do to make myself happy. It's hard to get in there. So take an hour, put it on your clock, see what you can get done. Make yourself happy. I'm thinking that it's not bad. Me and Jolene use that a lot, not bad. I'm thinking that's where it wants to be. Leave that there like that. Little cut there. And flat there. So if you want to know how good you are, give yourself an hour and see what you can get done. Not all day, an hour. I just crease that along there. That gives me my line for the top piece. I got the same going on down here. My 3D printer. I'm going to say middle is right. It does not matter if I put it exactly in the middle. I'm going to use what I have here. I'm going to call that middle because I'm going to make another piece here. I really want to get them cylinders and to know exactly where the hole is for the steering to do that. So we'll just go this way first. We'll do this little bit here like this first. We'll get this side done. Okay. I've got a little lip flapped up there a little bit. So it does not have to come right to the top of that line. I can tell that I can bring it down a little bit. It does not have to go right to the top. We can weld it right along the face there or underneath it a little bit. So that line basically is a guide line. I might cut a little bit shorter on that. I'm not sure. But let's take it off. Sure if I can see that the best, but I'm going for it. My cardboard, my Bristol board's bent up a little bit. Hoping that I still get a good true read out of it. Oh, didn't cut that yet. And this is one thing I'll guarantee you. If you work off a bench, you will not even come close. I can guarantee you that, because by the time you go to the bench and clean the bench off to get your stuff set up to do what you got to do, you would not be able to make a video like Bad Chad if you work off a bench. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Now. Alright, let's gather up a piece and go from there. We'll start with that. No, I need down some more. Let's cut that off some more. Okay, I'm going to make a mark here. The reason I'm going to make a mark there, I'm going to show you in a second. I've got a mark there, and the reason I'm going to put a mark there is because I'm going to put a piece of square stock there, so I got something to weld this piece to. I lay it on the face, and then I got a piece, when I come over this side, I got something to lay on this side. So the square stock is going to be in the middle of this. It's just going to be in there for strength to hold this piece and that piece when it comes together. So we'll end up butt welding together, but we'll have a piece of square stock in behind it. Let's get a piece of square stock. I'm gonna stop talking and get to work. Put the square stock in the middle of where I'm going, of the line. Let's cut that off. I need my... I'm gonna have to get back out again, but I have to clean everything up too. Good. A little gap in there, that's good. Perfect. Let's take and clean this off. Kind of a hard spot to get into right there. Hard spot to get into. Yeah, I'm just going to the grinder. I'm going to pull over the welder right quick. So there's a lot more to do to this car, that's for sure, than just put the engine in. There's a lot to do. The wiring's got to be done. Like I said before, there's a lot to do. Getting the motor set in is just something small, actually, compared to what has to be done. I want the grinder plugged into this. Let's see if I can reach it with the grinder. Yeah, probably can. Now I'm going to see if I can get a die grinder in there a little bit, just cleaned up a little bit, because I will not be able to weld in there very good without the cleaned die grinder. Use whatever tool is available to get whatever you need to get done. Try to find the quickest tool. That's another thing too. There is a tool for every job, and to know the tools, what will do the quickest, is the best. Because there's a quicker way to cut things than others. There's a better way to cut things than others sometimes. So a straight line you want to cut down a shear. A round line you want to cut it with maybe a portable shear, or your get that plugged in, or your what are them things called over there? What? Your Beverly shear. You might want to cut it with that. Have to get Jolene to help me today. I'm thinking. So that was a pretty smart way to clear that off, so make that stick, or get the paint off. You don't have to agree, but it's okay. Alrighty, so we have it basically ready to rock and roll for let's check our pattern out. Our pattern's close. It's not. Paper's not doing that well for me, but we'll see when we shove the metal in, that's for sure. We're somewhere close. So we're going to put that in there like that. I'm going to have to hop out again to get my helmet. I'm going to carry over a piece of metal because I know I'm going to need a piece. I'm using 14 gauge, and the reason being is I have it, and I think it's a little bit stronger than 18 gauge. I don't think it is, I know it is. Ooh, that stuff looks sharp, don't it? Ugh, sharp. Which is my own. Whoa, that's sharp. Just trying to look at this metal here. It's all 18. I think it is. Just wondering why I've got two pieces of 18 on the go, that's all. Got my piece cut there. I'll weld that piece and then go over and take a look again. Clean these glasses off. Ugh. So gas is on, welder's on, got the thing in there, got my square stock. So I'm just going to weld this square stock. Got a little bit shy, but that gives me, the reason I cut it shy is this was angling down, or I thought it was. Come on, pass me that other piece there in case that's the piece. Thanks, Joanne, sweetheart. Okay. That piece is better. See, it's flush to the front. Not really flush, but good enough. Good. That's good up there. So I wonder if I should go in there a little bit on that one. Nope, I'm going to leave it there. Like I said before, this is just here for strength to push that against and then apply the other piece. That's all it's there for. Nothing else. I'm going to weld it down the front because I don't know why. Seams here are getting soft already. Got that welded in there, got that in place. Let's get a piece of metal cut and then flap it in there. Put that there. Give me a helmet, or a hat, sorry, excuse me. I'm gonna look over here and look at this metal again. Nope, I don't want nothing bending like that. Let's do this. We got a straight piece on the top, a squirrely piece on the side, a straight piece of, let's try this. See if I can't get two out of it. Let's do that. Couple magnets. I find it funny when some people don't find me or see things that I'm not being efficient at, and I probably agree with them sometimes, but it's funny when someone says, oh, he didn't use the straight edge on the thing. Well, that's good that you that you noticed that. Like I try to use a straight edge every time. I think there was one time I didn't use the straight edge or something happened. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. But it's funny when people notice that, or I take great, well, I'm happy that people do notice that because they're actually watching. That's what I mean by that. They're actually watching. So when someone notices something like that, I take great pleasure in it. And good on you for watching, for noticing. I'm going to go up straight up by, and I can shave that back with the grinder. I'd rather have more than not enough. So that's my piece. Let's cut it out with that super duper DeWalt 6-inch disc. It might be a 5 now. It might be. I'm going to cut the line because the line is on the outside of the pattern. I probably will have to shave it down when I get it in there. Could have used my plasma cutter for that. I guess the only thing I'm thinking is time. The time I have to get it out, get it set up, get it rock and rolling. Probably could have used it. Could have used it, I guess. Maybe I should have used it, I'm not sure. But we're going with it. I have the grinder going, so we're going for it. It would cost less if I took my time and set the plasma cutter up. That would be probably the better thing. Like I said, there's always a, you know, the better tool is the better way to go. I did not. I wouldn't have cut it. Well, I hope I wouldn't. Flapper wheel. Flapper wheel, flapper wheel. Don't know where the flapper wheel is. So we'll just grab this one. I know where it is, it's right over there. Get her tried in there. Now we got a nice strong piece of metal there. I know it seems like quite a hefty thing, but in actual fact, it's quite a flat piece of metal going on that firewall. Just want something sturdy on there. I was just thinking, or saying to Jolene, where we're putting the 5-speed transmission in. That transmission, if Jolene wants to show it, is aluminum. And I think the transmission weight alone from the other engine would be a big difference. So this piece of metal in here that I'm putting in, I don't really feel that bad for the weight that I'm causing or taking away. The weight I'm causing. Now I have to scribe that in there a little better. Cut that top off. Cut the head of it off. Now I didn't have that in there with me, did I? Now I'm gonna have to get a marker. Get a marker that I probably threw on the floor. And then I'm going to need a grinder. Might as well get that now. Flapper wheel. So I can buzz off the pieces that I need. Smacker. I got a little bit of a issue going on. I'll take that little bit off. Good place to make your elbow soft is in here. Getting in there tighter. We're getting in there tighter. We are. Just a little bit more. Fits nice down around there now. Woo, baby. I'm going to explain this scribing thing. What happens is I'm shoving the piece of metal in to the best it fits. Where it hits is where it's going to be taken off. And the distance that is the biggest, that's got a gap, is generally the distance you have to take off where it's hitting. Hope that makes sense. So where it's hitting, now you can see that fit in there. It's not bad. Not bad. But I have to take it up a little bit. Actually, I want to take it down a little bit. I'm liking that fitting. I can take it in a little bit more. And I'm just going to do this. You can see the gap that I got down there. There's a little bit of a gap down there. And I want it to go in that far. So I'm going to take the distance where it's hitting, take the same distance off. Hope that makes sense. Drop my marker cover. I'll just put that there. So there was a gap down at the bottom on this piece. There was a gap on the bottom of this piece, about that thick down there, and it was hitting all along here. So I'm taking that distance off here to make that go in tight. Hitting at the top a little bit. Right here. God bless it. It's good there now. Jolene's my queen. She's my queen. We're in the center of that. That looks good. Now, I don't like what's going on here. We're just going to trim this up a bit. And then I'd say we're good to rock and roll. And it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Take me grind that off. Just going to stand up here a bit. I was going to get out and cut it off, but I can flapper wheel it off. Why not? I'm hoping that we're ready to fit. Got a helmet. Now, let's brush this out a little bit. And it should still be easy to blow out. There's lots of room there for everything. I actually want to flapper wheel the fronts of the welds off so it sits nice and flush. Nice thick piece of metal. Nice thick piece of metal. Get it up in there tight as possible. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's just take a look at it for a second. Let it down a little bit. I chose right there. I don't know why. How's that? I don't know why. Just want to bring it out a little bit if I can. One, it holds it, and two, it's in place. Yeah, we get her in place. Good. Do the bottom, just hold it flush. We'll leave that one like that. Let's do the top. We're up there a little bit, but that's fine. Just want to actually tack this first. Let's knock this off a little bit. We're a little bit too high. You can tell how strong that's going to be. A nice gap going down there to weld up. That's fine. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice. And now I don't want to hit that. So I'm strong. What do I want to do? I'll knock that off. The helmet keeps coming down on me. It's driving me crazy. I probably could cut that off. I'd like to get it down. Gotta get it pulled in there. I have to push on that quite heavy. All right, how do I want to do that? I got this stuck up here a little bit. The helmet's bothering me. Got this stuck up here a little bit. I want to get it knocked off a little bit. Do I cut it off with the zip cut? Yep. Or I was going to flapper wheel it down. Well, I'm going to cut it off the zip cut. Shut that off. And the reason I'm going to cut it off the zip cut is because it's too much to flapper wheel. I want probably, we'll say, 1/8 or 1/4 off it the whole way. And I do not feel like I want to. Got some see-through parts here on the paper in the window. Do not want anything to happen to the window. Time's up, is it, sweetheart? Cool. Put the grinder in there. I'm going to draw a mark on that because I'd be crazy not to. Just going to use my finger. Thatcher. So what I'm going to do is I might as well do it all. little piece of metal drew in there. I'll just put some air in there and I'll blow it out. Perfect. Turn the welder on. I should have had my arm thing. You know, pass me the arm thing there, please. Third arm. Is there another one there with a sponge on it? Or that was a little hard on me. There was a guy that sent one in as a gift. He makes them. I should have had that over here. It's got a nice spot for your arm, shoulder and stuff. Fits good. We're going to go in the center of this bad boy. Right on the point, this bad boy. Oh my. Yeah, I'm just going to scoop that down maybe just a little bit there. So I guess you basically see what's going on. But got a nice, I mean, it's rattling a little bit. But you got one nice firewall there. We'll be able to weld that along there, down through there, and just put a skim of fill on it there, skim of fill, whatever on there, and then we'll skim it. We'll have to make this side after, but that's how I'm doing the firewall. I want it all closed off before we mount the engine in there and keep it there for good. How much time, sweetheart? 58. So I talked for 10 or 15 minutes of it, but I was able to make a piece and get it applied in there and you know, within the time. So if you're doing this sort of work and you want to know how good you are, put an hour on the clock and see what you can get done. And basically, in all honesty, all it's doing is giving yourself some gratification that you're going forward, you're getting better and that sort of stuff. And that's basically why I do it for. I try to do it as fast as I can because it makes me happy in the brain that I'm going forward. To work all day in a bushel basket, and what I mean by that is have a little basket and work all day and not be able to fill it is not the work habit you should have if you're getting into this business. It's not. All right, everybody, like, share, comment, come back tomorrow. We'll be here. And thanks for coming back. We appreciate it.